Okay, hello, my lovelies. We are going to go sound hunting. And this is something that I have been doing since, since I was about 25. When I went to fine arts school to do an undergraduate degree, discovered how amazing sound was and how to be creative with sound. And I started just kind of recording things. I bought a digital audio tape recorder with a microphone, and I would walk around recording all sorts of things. And so I've been digging through my workspace here to find all sorts of stuff like toys from the dollar store. You know, super fun things like slide whistles. Or one of my favorite things ever, you know, little percussion instruments like jaw harps. So you can do all sorts of fun things with different sizes of jaw harps. And so what I'm going to do is kind of like walk around my house and go through different spaces and get things that make cool sounds. And I'm gonna get you to watch me act like a crazy person in my house. It's a rainy day, so there's nothing better to do anyway. So we're going sound hunting. So how are you guys going to go about capturing your own sound? Well, there are devices like digital voice recorders that you can get from the library. I believe they also have microphones. I think they've got like mini shotgun microphones that normally go onto a camera, but I believe they can also be plugged into your phone. So I'm going to look into that. And then I have so much recording gear for sound. Like I have basically two versions of a Zoom player. So this is the actual Zoom recorder, and it's got these two microphones built in on the top. And here, I'll turn it on and show you how it works. I'm going to bring this in so you guys can use it. So here's the Zoom recorder. And, oh yeah, the card is actually, I was doing an audio test, so the card is actually in my computer right now. But the only difference between this and this is that this one, you just plug right into your phone. And then it turns your phone into a really lovely stereo mic. And I even have an app that goes with this, and it's pretty awesome. I have a smaller version. Yeah, I've got a smaller version of a Zoom as well. And so this is how you can like walk around in the world and, capture audio. And then, of course, we have a whole bunch of these Yeti microphones. The library has them as well. So if you want to rent them or take them out from the library, you can. They have different kinds of mics that you can use. Or you can work at KPU in the journalism department in one of the sound booths. You can use one of the music department's microphones and plug that in. We have other mics too. But these are kind of probably going to be the main microphone sources that you'll use. I did do a sound test using just the built-in microphone, and the built-in microphone is this little tiny dot. There's a little tiny dot at the top here. And that is the microphone. It's like 1 millimeter big. So the microphone's not great. That's built into, I mean, it's better than they used to be. But using something like this, if you think you're going to want to start doing a lot of audio recording, I would recommend you buy some kind of an attachment for your phone. These guys are also coming down in price. There's all different kinds of handy recorders in the market now. So, whereas way back when I bought this many years ago, I think it was $200 or $300, which at the time was a lot because I was poor. So yeah, lots of microphones for you guys to use. Okay, so I'm going to record some sounds here in my studio. So what you do is when you turn, it's so hard to see the screen here. When you get this turned on, you just press the record button once. Oh, right, I have to take the card out. Okay, let's eject. All right, I'm back. Yeah, so this is just an old card. You open up the side here, this side piece, and you stick the card in until it clicks. And then you close this. Now it's loading the card. So you press the record button once just to arm it. And then when you're ready to go, so it's blinking right now. That means it's ready to start recording whenever you want to go. And then you press it again. And now you can see the counter's going. So I'm going to put this right here in front of me. And I'm going to play some sounds into it. All right. Oh, hit my tooth. dog just came in the room. She's super into it. Hi, Lucy. Okay. So the reason I'm swinging it back and forth is because this is a stereo microphone, and so as you swing it back and forth, it will sound really cool on the mic. Okay, what else have I got here? A horrible and hideous tin whistle. Tibetan, what are these called? Tibetan prayer bowls? Getting a very good sound. Let's try this one. whenever there's physics involved, like physics coming out of this, you want to allow the note to actually fade out on its own. You don't want to artificially fade it out later. So when you're doing this, you want to wait for the object to really finish its ringing. So you might spend a whole minute getting one sound, and that's okay. Let's see if this smaller bowl will... While we're at it, grab a glass of water. Try hitting it with different things in different spots. Grab a different mug. Try something like, nope. Yeah, nothing going on there. Yeah, that's super boring. What if we hit it with this? Nope. Okay, that sound is not optimal. You can hit two things together. Just making lots of percussive sounds. And what else do I have in here that might make a noise? I think that could be, yes. Now the neighbor's kids are yelling. Cool sound. What else do we have? See if I got a good scissors sound here. Get out some different pairs of scissors. Nope. That's a cool sound. That's a good one too. Got some tacks. yeah, I think that's gonna do it for my studio. But we haven't even gone to the kitchen yet, so we're going there next. Bead curtains. Okay, so I'm going to record some more things here in my studio. One of my favorite things is wine glasses. And I'm going to use, I could use all sorts of things here, but maybe, let's just go right into GarageBand actually. I'll let you guys watch that. So, all I did is I just made a new track. I have it set up to use my Yeti microphone, and I have all sorts of things that we can play a bunch of different objects with. So I've got different kinds of glasses, so small, two different kinds of tumblers. I've got some pottery, some different bowls that are always great, but we're going to start with the wine glass. So I'm going to solo this, I'm going to mute this track. I'm going to click back to the beginning. We're going to start recording here. Turn the metronome off. Okay, I've got my microphone right here and my wine glass right in front of it. So let's warm it up by tapping it with some chopsticks. And depending on where you hit it, you might get a different sound. Yeah, those kind of suck. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever done this before, but if you lick your finger and hold the bottom of the glass down with your hand so it can't move, and lick your finger, you can actually get a really cool sound. You can make it resonate kind of like the singing bowls. Okay, now let's try tapping some of these guys. I don't know if this will make any difference. Nope, no difference. But you can hit these things on your hands. And if you ever need a good slap sound, just get out your favorite spatula. Good old smack across the face. Try it with the handle of the spatula. Looks like that one distorted, so I'm going to come back a little bit, maybe not hit it quite so hard. Try this bowl. Try a chopstick. if I did a chopstick with this one. Good. And then I just brought an ice cream scooper. And there we go, more sounds. Okay, so one of the last things I'm going to show you is a really fun way to make some super cool kind of electronic pulsing sort of abstract sounds, and that's to create speaker interference or feedback. And all you do is take a microphone and a speaker and move them close to one another with the sound coming out of the speaker. And so what happens is the sound comes out of the speaker, goes into the microphone, and then from the microphone it goes back into the speaker, and it creates a feedback loop. And so all you have to do is just arm your track. So here in GarageBand, we have this button that will arm the track so that you can record. Ooh, do you hear that? Why? Ooh. And so now, I wonder if I can record right into GarageBand. Let's make a new track. Yep, and there it is. Okay, so I'm going to turn my count in off, make sure my microphone's not on. I'm going to click record. Let's go back to the beginning. We don't need this. We don't need that. Okay. Recording here. Turn the metronome up. There we go. Okay, so we're recording. Let's record this right into GarageBand. And stop. And there you go. Does that sound like lightsabers to you? Because that's what they use to create the lightsaber sounds in Star Wars. Very old school trick. Okay, my lovelies. So, you've been sound hunting for days. You've torn your house apart or gone into your dad's work shed and gotten out all his power tools or your mom's power tools, whoever fixes things in your house. In my house, it's me. You've gotten out fans that you can crack open. You've looked for pottery in the house and things that you can play with, spoons and forks and chopsticks. You've looked for little instruments that you might have around the house. Every instrument can make so many more sounds than just what it's designed to make. And hopefully you have a nice collection of materials. So what I'm going to show you now is actually first of all, how to center your image correctly. There we go. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you guys how to take these recording sessions and turn them into a library, because you are going to create an original sound library as one of your assignments and give it to me for marks. Okay, so we're going to jump into GarageBand and I'm going to show you how I take those recordings and turn them into a quote unquote library. Okay, here we go. Okay, so now that you have your recordings, I'm going to show you what to do with them. So you want to just, anything that you didn't record directly into GarageBand, like these two tracks, like these I just recorded right into GarageBand. Anything else, you might have it in a folder like this, and you can just grab it and drag it right into GarageBand, which is super cool. Oh, and I've lost my folder. There we go. Let's do espresso machine starting up. Let's do espresso machine pouring. Let's do whipped cream. What is this? Okay, those are items here that I recorded in the studio, the randos. And is that everything? I think it is, yes. Okay. So if we sort of zoom out to see our recordings, you can see that some of these are really long, and I've recorded for many minutes. We don't need to be in bars for this, bars and beats. I'm actually going to go into time, because minutes and seconds is actually easier when you're cataloging and creating your library. So if we take a look at, say, something like, let's look at the feedback here. So these are the feedback recordings, and I'm going to zoom into that. And then here's what you do. You're going to use the trim function, which is Command T. When you go Command T, bloop. When you go Command T, you have to select the track first, and then click T and Command T, and then what it does is it creates essentially a slice, and then you can go and start to manipulate things. But I go through. Okay, don't need any of that. So anything that's unnecessary, you're going to get rid of. Great. So I cut out the stuff we don't need. I move it to the beginning, and then it's basically out there. We look at this one. So when does it start fading in? Yeah, kind of about here. Trim. And then you're just going to Command T. And trim. One thing you might want to do is go into, which one is it? To take grid off. Where is grid? It's usually Command G. Snap to grid. Okay, it's already off. Okay, that's good. Because you want to be able to not have it snapping to grid up here on the ruler. Is that snap? Nope, that's catch playhead. It looks like it's still snapping. Yeah, it's still snapping to grid. You want to take that off. Why is that happening? Track, edit, alignment guides? No, that's not it. Okay. I don't know. Let's see if I go Command G. Yeah, doesn't seem to want to let me do that. Okay. Not sure what's going on with that. But anyway, so as you're going through, you want to just chop out any unnecessary stuff. Go to there. I would move this one, get out this silence. Ooh, that one's so good. And then we've got a bunch of little ones. Good. Command T. Command T. And trim that. Trim. And you get the idea, right? So you cut all of these into individual pieces, and then what you do is you move them all into a track like this. So now what you have is all of the good parts, and you've cut out all of the unnecessary stuff. So now what you have essentially is a whole bunch of loops or samples like GarageBand provides for you. And we just have them all here in a track. And so, you know, you would go through, you would cut all of these out, trim them all out so that they would look like these. And then what you have is, you know, 12 or 13 really good sounds that are all related to this. Similarly, you would go into your miscellaneous items. So that's nothing. Skip ahead. So that's the comb. So this is where cataloging takes a long time. You got to zoom in, trim. Go to about here, trim. Delete the part you don't need. And trim. Move this up to here. Etc. So this cataloging process takes a long time. So you would go through all of these sounds. That's a dumb sound. Those are just scissors. Those are boring. But you can see in the scissors here, all this fidgeting around here. We don't need any of this, right? What's going on here? There we go. That's what we want. And when you make your sounds, you want to zoom in. You don't want to have any unnecessary silence at the beginning. You can zoom in really, really far and go right to the beginning of the sound. And I'm going to explain why in a minute. So let's say we've taken this one sound. Let's see. Let's say we're going to end that one there. Okay. So when we are doing looping, like you guys have done many times in some of the other courses you may have taken, let's make a copy of this. I'm just going to come over here. I'm going to grab this little tiny triangle at the top. Come on, the sass. And I'm just going to give myself some extra room to play. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, let's pretend I'm starting to make something out of this now, some kind of a project or a soundscape. So let's go to bar 250. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste that there, right? So now this begins exactly on bar 250. So if you want to make a piece of music and you want this to fit into a beat because you're making a remix, what you essentially want to do is make this 2 bars long, and then maybe we want to turn this one backwards. That's in here, so grab this one, reverse playback. And now what you can do, because you have no unnecessary sound at the beginning, this is going exactly on bar 250. And so this is how you make nice clean loops, is you get rid of all the silence at the beginning so that the loop begins exactly when it plays. And so now we would have a nice loop to play with, like this. And then you'll also see right here too, when this reversed version goes back into the forward version, we don't have much of a gap in here at all. And if we zoom in, you'll see very little gap in there. All right. So while you're making your loops and cataloging your sounds, make sure that when you're trimming all these bits and pieces that you're getting rid of all of the stuff that you don't need at the beginning. So on this one, if we were to zoom in, you would want to get as close to the sound as you can, and then you zoom in even more. And this is kind of like data entry. It's kind of like administration or grammar. It's the boring part. It's the really super boring part of doing sound design and doing audio recording. Let's see how long this rings for. To there. Trim that. Go on to the next one, etc. Did I get lucky there? I did, yes. So then you can trim, move on to the next one, and then you would grab all these and you would make them adjacent to one another like this, so that all of your sounds get kind of compressed like this. They all get compressed into the beginning. And then once you've gone through and edited all these, like the bead curtains, for example, I can tell just by looking at this where I need to trim it. And then I can zoom in, get rid of the unnecessary stuff. What's going on right there? Oh, yeah, that's the microphone being set up. Okay, so here, this must be the first bead curtain. Let's bring that back. There we go. It's basically done by about there. So get rid of this unnecessary stuff. We have another bead curtain right here. does that go for? Oh, and then we got some weird digital aliasing there. I'm not sure why. And so now here are your two bead curtain loops that you've created. All right, so the cataloging will take you hours, and that's okay because there are parts to doing this kind of work that are incredibly boring, very repetitive, super unglamorous, and that is the reality of being a sound artist, is you have to do a lot of this stuff. But if you have lots of really interesting things around your house, you could create a sound library that people might even want to purchase. You could put your sound library online. You could sell it as a folder, you know, for $20 or something, and then people can use your sounds. So there it is. So what I want you to do with all of your recordings is compress all of it so that it is a cataloged library, like we've done here, like we started to do here. Move these to the beginning. Move this here. And that's so that when you go in and start to do your composing, you're not having to go through minutes and minutes and minutes to try to find your stuff. It's all kind of compressed and organized how you want to do it. And you can even name things. So you can double click on this where it says audio 3, and you can call it speaker feedback. You could call studio, this has already got a name, but you could change it. And you want to make sure you could even break things up. So you could take this track here and just duplicate it. So Command D, Command D, Command D, Command D. And what you could do here is you could put wine glasses. Here you could put tumblers. Here you could put knives. And here you could put carrots. The reason why I broke a carrot while I was breaking carrots is because in the film industry, that is the sound that they use for snapping fingers and bones. So when you see somebody get a finger broken in a movie or snapped in a movie, breaking a carrot is kind of the industry standard sound for creating a breaking bone. So that's lovely, hey? Lovely. Breaking people's fingers with carrots. So there it is. Now I've shown you how to go into GarageBand or whatever your DAW is, Logic or Pro Tools, it doesn't really matter. The process is the same. Now that you have gone and researched things that make cool sounds and then gathered all your supplies into your recording space and recorded your unedited tracks of sounds, you've put it into GarageBand, you've done all your trimming, and you have cataloged your sounds and compressed them all to the beginning of your session so that they're easy to grab. Maybe you've separated tracks, maybe you've given tracks names, and your job now is to essentially submit that to me so I can take a look at your library. And then what you are going to do, one of your other assignments is going to be to create different kinds of soundscapes using those sounds. So one is going to be a rhythmic and percussive soundscape. One is going to be an ambient, broad brush strokes kind of thing. And I'll explain more when we get to that point. But you need to be very mindful about the types of things that you record, because you're going to have to turn them into certain kinds of compositions later in the course. And the reason why this is important is because a lot of the soundtracks that you see now in any kind of moving image media, whether that be film or video or web movies, digital content, video games, etc. This approach to going out and getting sounds, bringing them in, cataloging and making a library, and then turning those into music using the rules of music composition, the same ones we use for instruments, is one way that you can create a sound that is uniquely yours. Also, this is something that robots and AI don't know how to do yet, and maybe will never be able to do, because it's so based on the human experience. So that's why this kind of music is going to be really important moving forward, because it, as far as I know, can't be emulated using software. But classical music, rock music, EDM, country music, all those types of musics can be created using apps now. And this is one type of music that is so abstract and is so artistic and so creative that there isn't a formula that you can use to create it. So there you go. That will keep us going for maybe another decade, and then we'll see what happens. There it is. So have fun with this assignment, and good luck sound hunting, cataloging, and creating your first sound library.